Welcome back. So in the previous video, you have added all the needed markup or the HTML for our navigation. It is time for us to go ahead and style it to make more sense of what does all this, the tags that we have added mean. So with that being said, let's get started. So again, I'm going to remind you, we are going to use Sass. Sass, it's a CSS preprocessor, and also you can call it a CSS extension. Essentially, it will add some extra features to the CSS language, like for example, nested styling, functions, conditions, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff that you really needed in a CSS, language. So again, here in my C styles folder, I'm gonna right click and choose a new folder. I'm gonna call it components. Components, okay. And essentially we are gonna modular, we are gonna make more than one CSS file for any reusable piece of our website. So if I go back to and show you the preview, here we have this application right here. We are using the nav right here, and I'm gonna create a separate CSS file for our nav. Why is that? Well, maybe we are gonna use it. This is how we can make it reusable, okay, and also more organized and more structured. So here inside my components, I'm gonna right click and choose a new file. I'm gonna call it underscore nav bar.scss. So SCSS for Sass. Yeah. Hit enter. That will create it like this. Before we do anything, we need to go ahead and import it in our main.scss file. Why is that? Because how my application behave is that it's gonna take whatever is written inside our main.scss and it will execute it or import it in our style.css as a regular CSS code, and this CSS file will be read, or the HTML file, it's gonna read it like so. So the HTML file only will understand whatever is written inside our CSS folder file. And we are gonna give our CSS file the code from our Sass, the main Sass file right here. So that's why we need to import our navigation right here. The way that we are importing it, we type at import and then the path for your file that you want to add it. And by the way, if you are wondering why I have called it underscore navbar.scss, well, this is just to tell other developers in the team that, hey, this is as we call it, this is a component, this is like a reusable piece, okay. This is how you can tell other developers that this is like a reusable CSS file or Sass file. Here I'm going to give it the path, so /components navbar like so. And by the way, you don't need to include .scss because it will already understand it, and also you don't need to include the underscore like that. This is not necessary. Sass will be able to understand that. So with that being said, now anything that we should write in our navbar file should be executed on our HTML file through this pipeline from the main Sass to our CSS file and so on. But in order for us to do so, we have to execute a command. And if you open your package.json, you'll see in our scripts area, I have added this start command. Essentially, it will start the Sass compiler to watch any changes in our Sass folder here in our Sass file, and it will execute it in our CSS file and so on. So this is just a basic compiler for SAS. In order for us to run it, we need to go terminal, a new terminal, and here it will immediately or directly refer to our project. We can type npm node package manager and the name of the script, which will be start. Hit enter. That will start the node SAS, as you can see. Now here I'm just gonna give it a test. Let's say, for example, we need to select one of these. Let's go ahead and select our header nav. I'm just gonna copy it, or we can just, for the time being, let's copy it. Here I'm just gonna say header nav, and we can see I'm just gonna say background color. I'm just gonna use the white color like so. Once we give it a save right here, we can, by the way, ignore all of these errors right here that you can see. This is just because I have the auto save feature enabled. If you go to the file, you will see the auto save right here enabled. So that's why some like confliction happening right here, some confusion between the SAS compiler and the auto save feature. You can just ignore it. Once you write your own properties, your own CSS, just hit Command and S or Control and S, and you will see that the SAS compiler wrote to the CSS file successfully. And if you open your CSS file, you will see that here our code was written successfully. Okay, now open your HTML file, run it in the browser. I'm gonna decrease this one. Right click and choose open with live server. You should already have it, and you can see we have it right here. So like we have everything looks bad, but again we are gonna fix it one by one. So here in my nav bar, I'm just gonna give it a shadow or border from the bottom. We are gonna remove it later on. For the time being, let's give it to ensure that we have something. So 2 pixels solid, let's use dark gray as usual. So again, that's cool, our code is working. We do have our navigation right here, but again it's missing some of the styles and so on, but at least we have something shown. So here what I will do, I will go ahead and fill some content, because here for example we need to add some content. I'm just gonna say home, and here I'm just gonna say about. Here I'm just gonna say blog, and the last one should say contact. Okay, and here for example it should say, as we have it right here, dashboard, the name of the user and the logout. So dashboard, and here it should say for example Adam, and here it should say log out. Give it a save, go back to our application. You will see we got everything, but it's not styled. Again, it's matter of styling. Now let's go. We have added to our header nav, we have added the style, the needed style. We don't need to add too much. It's just a matter of background color and so on. Let's move to the nav content right here. I'm gonna copy this class, going back right here. And what I will do, again, I have told you that this div right here, or this class, will be very handy when it's come to styling. Why is that? Because here, if you take a look, we have some white space from the left and from the right. So this is what this div will be added for. I have noticed that I have a typo right here, content, so content like so. I'm just gonna fix it. So content, okay. I'm gonna give it a width, not windows, but width to be 90%. Okay, I'm gonna give it margin to be 0 from the top and bottom, and from the left and right should be auto, and that will immediately center it or give it this white space from the left and right. So this is that div that I have talked about, okay, which is this div right here. Okay, and now what I will do, I will immediately give it a display flex. Why is that? Because it has the navigation right here, the logo and the UL, as well as these 3 buttons, and I want them to be in one line. So that's why I have given display flex I will give it align items to be center, just to center them in the align items to be center. Yes, yeah, that's great. They are centered now. So by the way, if you don't know anything about Flexbox, I do have a we already explained it, but if you are still not making sense of that, so please feel free to go back and watch that, because we don't have the time to explain it again. So go back to the previous sections and you will find it somewhere. Okay, and now what I will do, I will say justify content space between. That will push these buttons to the left, or sorry, to the right, and this one right here. And now I'm gonna go even deep to our nav. Our nav has the logo and it has the UL, and I want these two, the logo and the UL, to be on the same line. So I will go ahead and target my nav and give it display to be flex, align items to be center. Okay, give it these two properties and you will see very nice change. We are getting closer and closer to our goal. Let's move to the UL right here. Okay, so which has the class nav underscore underscore list. If you don't remember, then let me show you. We have this nav right here, or this UL. Okay, I want all these list items to be on the same line, so I will give their parent a display to be flex. Okay, align items optionally right here center. Okay, you will see them right here. I will give it list style to be none to get rid of any dots. Now I'm gonna give some space between these LIs right here. So I'm gonna target the nav underscore underscore item. Okay, I'm gonna give it margin from the right to be like 2 rem. Okay, that will give it margin from the right. Let's make it 2.5. Okay, and now I like it. I think I like it. But the problem right here, if you take a look, even we have the last item, it will be it has margin from the right, and it's not necessary because this is the last item. Let me show you how to handle these situations. So I'm just gonna say nav item, and here I'm just gonna use the note selector, note, and give it another selector. I'm gonna explain what I have did right here. So I have added nav underscore underscore item, which is the LI. I have added note, and here I have in parentheses I have specified this pseudo selector last of type. I have said, hey, I want you to pick any element that has the class not like nav item, which is any LI, but don't select the last one. Okay, and I will say margin right to be right here, and I'm gonna get rid of the old way right here. This is the best practice that you can use to apply margin from the right for all the items except the last one. This is how you handle it. And now nothing will change because, well, it's just a matter of best practice. Okay, now I will say nav underscore underscore link, and I'm just gonna say text decoration, this one right here to be none, and the color should be dark gray as well. So this for these links right here, and we have this logo right here. We are gonna get to that later, but let me style these links right here. So what I will do, I'm just gonna say like header underscore underscore button, which will be again these links right here. I'm just gonna say text decoration to be none. This is what I will do right now. Again, these videos are becoming too long, so what I will do, I will stop right here, and in the next video we are gonna take from what we have right here to make it exactly like this. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching, and see you in the next one.